What's going on, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? We're here today with another episode. This is episode 8 of CREWMARU, and today we're going to be talking about lucky finds and unlucky misses. A little 50-50. Happy St. Patty's Day out there. Hope you're wearing some green. I see a little bit of green in here. Of course, not on Johnny though.
That's my underwear, but they didn't start that way.
We all know you're not wearing underwear.
This is
Waiting to poo in it all day.
So yeah, this could be a really happy subject, and it could be a real sad subject that we've all experienced some really bad misses here. So what's going on, Cap? Thank you for showing up. Oh my, Cap's working on a really amazing stop motion right now, but I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna talk about it. Just know it's a real
you just did though.
That's amazing. He's always working on amazing stop motions. It's not like this isn't his first one. It's not a big secret. You just don't know what it is though.
But this one's really cool.
Yeah, sorry. I should have. Yeah, this was really cool. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna be discussing today. Man, I've seen this happen before, and I don't want to start off on a negative, but it's like I just kind of for some reason this was something that just keeps sticking in my head, and I got to get it out. It's like I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with this, but have you ever seen a like a scalper in person walk out with everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever confronted one?
Nope.
I confronted. I just be like, dude, don't be that guy.
Man,
I walked up and I put my hands around his collar. Lifted him off the ground.
Or he shakes all the figures out of him.
Yeah. I flip him upside down and then
there's nothing worse. I've seen it happen a couple of times, especially like back whenever I would actually go on hunts, and you see somebody just carting out just piles of stuff. You're like, oh man, come on. My favorite thing to do, I think my favorite thing to do is pretty petty. I will, if they do have more than if they have more than 2 in their cart, I will say like, are you know, I guess it depends on the day, but I've been there. I'm like, are you buying all those? Because I'm a collector. One, and sometimes sometimes they'll either say, yeah, I'm buying all these, or they might give you that whole, I'm getting these for some friends, which we've been there. It's possible. Yeah. Some of us probably look like scalpers every now and then. But we are actually helping our friends out, or it's one of those things where
I look like the guy in the news that did the thing. Yeah,
or possibly to do one of these where you're like, and then you post online, you're like this freaking guy right now.
I'm gonna cancel him.
I'm gonna cancel this. No. I'm gonna cancel the scalper, and he's like, I was just buying it. What if he's got 3 kids at home and all of them like
call your job?
Have less kids.
His job?
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's buying all the toys. What?
What kind of turtle this guy has? Somebody's getting him too much.
Somebody's just upset about it. But anyways, yeah, that's something that really, oh god, it really irks me. I feel like I haven't seen like scalpers in a long time though. I feel like distribution has been, I don't know. I'm sure they're still out there, but it's like,
well, everyone's waiting for everything to go on sale now, I feel.
Yeah.
So,
Much.
Yeah. It's not.
Scalpers are punching the air.
It's not really a scalper's market right now.
Good.
Yeah. Like people are trying to
But on that note, you mark my word, that's going to change. I wouldn't sit around and wait for sales anymore.
Yeah.
Dang it. Jay, don't be telling people that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's making it harder for us.
No, you're probably right, man. I think that's I think we were talking about that. What was it yesterday, Jay, with the arrival of your vamp?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you see, he's like so happy. The thought of like Hasbro's probably picking up on that, where it's like, man, a lot of these figures and things are starting to go to clearance, and stuff like that. So
it's not just like Hasbro or the manufacturers, it's the stores as well. They're realizing that like they overordered, too much stuff goes to clearance, so they're not going to order like they were. They're going to smaller orders, in turn smaller production runs.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
that might give them a bit of a bump at first, but that's going to be a problem if the prices are still high.
yeah, I mean, you're still for a little bit probably going to see stuff clearancing out. Like BBTS is still doing like their weekly clearance sale and stuff like that. You're still going to see that for a little bit, but if there's something you want, don't wait. Like, because in the near future, if you wait, you're probably going to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck. Then you're gonna have to. Then that's when scalpers come back in. You're gonna have to pay scalper prices. Who wants to do that?
They're rubbing their hands. Yeah, they're waiting.
Yeah. Can't wait for this. I can't wait to be sitting on top of all these figures. Whenever they'll regret this day.
I don't remember who was saying it. If I heard it or read it somewhere, but they're what was it?
Like
they're talking about adjusting pre-orders. Like so this might be the interview that I told everybody to watch. The Vives one.
Oh yeah, with the Super 7 Brian Flynn one, yeah.
Flynn that brought it up.
Yeah.
Saying that you could even potentially see companies
like
kinda... so they're doing pre-orders, and if they say and these are just numbers, there's no legitimacy in these like actual numbers, but
sure, just for example,
they're estimating like 100 pre-orders. Well, instead of ordering all 100 pre-orders, they're only going to order 80 pre-orders because they're going to, estimate that they're going to have 20 of them cancel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Even make sure and get. I would say just even be quick on those pre-orders if you don't really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. What's up? My man Bob's here. My man Bob just went through some traumatic stuff, and he's still healing up. So send some healing.
Love
vibes.
you, Bob.
Yeah, man. Send some healing
bud.
vibes Bob's way, man. He's a trooper. He fought death.
He looked death in the face, turned it upside down, and shook all its coins out.
He grabbed death by the collar. All right, let's get into something fun here. Let's talk about some lucky finds. Oh gosh, like I don't know. I got to thinking about this because I started going back through, like I was going through my collection and a lot of these lucky finds and whatnot. I remember back in the day. And this was a big deal. Probably, I guess it still is a big deal. But I found the entire wave of the Fin Fang Foom wave
Nice.
at a Walmart a week before it was being shown, like that they were coming out, and they weren't marked properly. So I got each one for $15.
Go.
Yeah, it was right over. It was actually in the I think it's the Roanoke Walmart that's kind of near me. The manhandler of death is Bob. That's me. But yeah, that was insane. And then I ended up selling Fin Fang Foom and all those figures like down the line, and I made more than $15 a figure.
Yeah,
just for inflation, But I was like, man, this is awesome. But that was one of those moments, those hunt moments. I think a lot of the lucky finds are always like when you find what I would always consider that. When you're hunting and you find what you want, but I think it's like even more special is whenever you're at like a toy show or a garage sale. Like I don't get lucky at garage. I don't go to garage sales, so I can't get lucky there. But I see some of these guys, man, that just like, man, they just like. I will have to steal. I have to steal one of Dave Wheeler's stories just because it's the most. Man, it's one of the most amazing ones. He had found like a bunch of Mondo mousers at a garage sale, and they were marked as robot dogs, which is still hilarious to me. And he got them for it was like, hey, I'm divorcing you prices. Like,
someone got in trouble.
Yeah, it looked like she was like selling off his collection and was like, I'm thinking about robot dogs. Ugh, these are like $5, and I'm like. He got a bunch for really cheap. I'm like, oof, yeah, that's nuts. Ez, Ez? I know you actually sent in some photos here.
Yeah.
Wanted to bring up this one because this is a good one. So but what is the story behind this lucky find? Did you just get it as it was?
No, I got them on Amazon. Like I didn't know about them, and then they showed up. Like, oh hey, there's a figure of Daft Punk. I'm like, oh, I love Daft Punk. I need these. Was looking on eBay and stuff and saw they were going for crazy prices. I'm like, let me check Amazon, and I found them for retail. And since then, they've been in my collections. As we said in a couple episodes ago, they're like my Grail figures now because like since the group is separated, I'm like, dude, these figures mean everything to me. Like honestly, dude.
Man. Yeah, it was crazy because I remember I pre-ordered those. I got those when they came out, and I want to say I actually probably pre-ordered them through Amazon, if not through one of the like probably Ami. Anyways, I got them and I was like, these are awesome. How cool is that? And I had no idea just how lucky I was to get that. Just kind of going back to what Jay was talking about. It's like, get your pre-orders in, just in case. Don't sleep on some of that stuff. And that's still something that I don't do today, unless it's like, those will probably be found in the store. That's a real unlucky miss. You want to talk about stepping in it is whenever you're like, I'll find those in the store, and they just never happens. But those
face of the earth,
dude, those Daft Punk figures, and then like you said, oh, now the band split up, but that's not something you predicted.
No,
you know what I mean? It's and it's like, oof, like now they're unobtainable and possibly won't be remade. There maybe a third party might do something down the road, but if you missed out. You can. Here's the thing: you can always repurchase or buy a figure later on. Doesn't mean you're gonna, be happy with what you spend.
Yeah.
That's
why I was like, whenever I do sell figures, I'm like, oh, I'll go buy it again, and like, oh, yeah, I don't want to pay for that price. Yeah,
maybe you won't. Yeah, but
I'm like, ooh.
But you can. You always can.
You always can. But you pay like 3 times the price. I'm like,
that. So it's like that. Do you want to do that, or is it best to just like maybe like let it go or hang on to it, whatever? Ori, tell me some lucky finds that you've had, because I will intro you as to say that my lucky find is Ori. not as just a friend, like a great friend, like or whatever, but since we'll just stay superficial. On the aspect of action figures, freaking Rabbit's Foot. Like, I've never seen a guy. I've never seen somebody like who could just get them. And it's not like he just walks into a store and like, oh, I found them all. No, man goes for it. The man goes for it and gets his stuff. So please tell us some of your lucky finds. And if you want to bleed into the unlucky, you can as well.
Yeah, the Holothon is basically my time to shine. I pull up every single target within like a 30-mile plus radius. Call them up. I'm bugging the electronics section. I'm bugging the managers. And I sound like a crazy person who lost their pet, because I'm like, you have any turtles? You have any turtles? You have any turtles in your store? I don't. And like half the time they don't know what I'm talking about. I got it down to a science. I have to. It's like certain keywords that I have to say just so they know just enough to point me in the right direction. I give them a number. They say yes or no, and I'm like, okay, fine, cross off the list. And I keep that's how you and I met, because I enticed you with the toys that you didn't have, and I want the person to be my friend by giving him things.
No, not even
on that list now.
No, not even close. I think not only did I appreciate a prompt find, but then I was like, well, here's a prompt payment. I was like, let's meet up in person, and it was kind of history from there. I couldn't believe the stuff that it like you'd get a picture, like a little notification from Ori, and it's just like, how?
Yeah, speaking of like looking like scalpers, I'm walking out with like 3 of these like giant, like 3 or 4 giant sets and like 2 baskets full. I'm like running towards the self checkout. Like something's fishy.
You were exactly who I had in mind when I said somebody might appear to be.
The security guard's like, "Hey, stop him!"
You're like, no.
No.
It's friend.
Yeah.
You just look at my phone. Looks real happy.
It's real. I'm in Target jail.
Oh no.
They're gonna start, dude. We were talking about that the other day, and it's like, what was it? You were saying, Ori, was it you that found there was a Target with a security or a police officer?
Yeah. There was a target with a police officer, like an actual police officer, bulletproof vest, gun holstered and everything, right by the self checkout. And I was texting someone. I was like, man, I was joking. I was like, man, the things people do for toys these days, they got to bring in the big guns. Like, I can't believe someone would do this. And this person looked at me. They're like, weren't you ripping open Renew Your Vows 2-packs in the Target food aisles like this past summer?
Yeah, but that's not. Hey, look.
Thought we're shooting me over. I don't know.
Yeah, they forced your hand, man.
Yeah. Guilty.
Yeah, guilty that I wanted to make sure the thing I was buying was
the
good.
thing I was buying, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny though?
I only ever got in trouble once. Guy was like, "What are you doing?" and I was like, "How do I explain myself here?" And I can't. I tried. And he was like, "Yeah, well, you got to buy it, and then check it, whatever, outside the store." I was like, okay.
Man, could you imagine? Could you imagine somebody like opening up like a crock pot or something like that to make sure it was good?
Oh my god!
Just any other thing?
Kill it right quick.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, it's not good. Just put it back.
This flat screen TV is real,
I want to make sure you plug it in and turn it on.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
I don't know
About green on you.
Yeah. People have been swapping out these flat screen TVs for Apples lately. So I got
I know. Yeah.
It's like 20 books in there for it to have to wait.
That's so bad, dude. Oh my god. Oh man, that's so funny, man. I could just toy security. That's got to be something that's just out of control. That's I think that falls into unlucky finds as well as how many repacks we've walked in and stumbled upon, and you're like,
oh yeah.
Oh, especially when it happens at like quote unquote your Target or your Walmart, that one you're always going to. All of a sudden you've never seen this, and it's like,
what is this? Yeah,
who did this?
But yeah, who did this?
What monster did this?
Yeah,
it's like, all right, cool. So I got to look out for that guy. I would love to be able to find that guy, though. I would love to see that guy, like, you're at there waiting and they're turning that in. It's like, hey, wait.
Yeah. Would you love to be behind them in the return line?
Yes.
I would absolutely love that.
You imagine? I would love to see the look on their face when you call it out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So earlier you said, has anybody confronted a scalper? I would never confront a scalper. I wouldn't do it because, but that guy returning, I would 100%. Hey.
Yeah.
Jay, hey, wait. Nuh-uh.
Do you realize what he's returning?
Yeah.
Did he say he's returning it? Did he tell you?
Yeah, he lied. There is something wrong with that.
Yeah, that's not what's supposed to be in there.
He's just like,
here, let me put what's supposed to be in there. Look,
Bob. Can of pork and beans.
Pretty much anyone who buys anything off of Amazon, like the past years.
Yeah.
Or if you pre-order anything for Walmart, good luck with that.
Do you not? Do you have bad luck with that?
No, I'm just saying, people that got the CM Punk were getting Cody Rhodes figures instead, or different wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Oh, didn't it happen with something with Ninja Turtles? They were getting the regular. Oh, it was the SDCC or something like that. Turtles, and they were getting the regular ones for I think it was for that newer movie. They were supposed to be panel lined. And they were in these nice boxes and stuff, and they were price of those, and they were getting ones. $8 single pack, whatever those figures, and it's like, oof, man. Here's a good one from Bob. He said he found a Yatsuba, the deluxe summer vacation version, on a small random site using a Google search. It was going for about 200 plus at the time. I got it for a little less than 50 shipped. Oh, man, God. There's nothing. Is that funny when you get usually there's levels, there's under retail, which is stellar. Mm-hmm. And then finding retail is just the breath of fresh air that you needed, I think, whenever you were looking for something. Mm-hmm. And even if it's just a little over retail, the stuff that we tell ourselves, that's okay. But it's have you any of you guys ever overpaid, way overpaid for a figure? Even one that you wanted, and maybe where you know, you just I don't know. I try to think of like, have you overpaid for a figure and you got it and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done this, or
Absolutely.
Yeah,
oof.
yeah. The Mesco Far From Home Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I got it from a guy in Canada, so I had to pay shipping on top of it. So it came out to be like 160. I was like, dude, well, like it's cool for what it is, but I'm like, I think I should have got the Mayfex or the SH. And
Yeah.
now I'm like trying to get rid of it. I'm like, it doesn't really look good because like I'm worried about posting it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's an exclusive. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it's a great figure. I just like I want to pose it without
Yeah, that
like
vinyl.
and stuff. You know,
Mhm.
I
Some of
want,
these
like a vanilla pose and that's it.
guys are fast and loose with those Mezco figures, man. With the vinyl, they're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's like,
like that's why like my Batman's just chilling like this. I haven't moved him yet.
it's like I hate that though, that you're afraid to move it.
Well,
Cap,
no, because I'm worried about it because like it's a lot of stitching there. I don't want to like bust a seam or something.
yeah, dude. Cap McKay said he overpaid for the SDCC noob cyber from Storm. Dude, those things shot up too.
Oh yeah.
Ran about 75, paid 100.
One chilling over there, just chilling.
Just chilling. Yeah, those ninjas went like, God, those things went up real fast. That's why I actually didn't go in on this first Mortal Kombat Storm stuff. I mean, and anyways, I lucked. It was an almost like an unlucky miss turned into a lucky miss, or lucky, I guess, literally, because I was like, I want Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. That's what I want to collect. And after I saw the prices of the MK2 stuff, I was like, yeah, no thanks. My biggest unlucky miss was freaking Mafek's Brown Wolverine. Like, and I'm just praying, hopefully that turns into a lucky kind of thing later on where they're like, oh yeah, they've re-released it and now it's better.
Oh yeah.
Now they're releasing a Cyclops, and all the scalpers are like pretty much shit in bricks. They're like, oh my god, the price went from close to 200, like 160, and then 100. Yeah. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And now you see bundle sales with Magneto and a Psylocke and the Tiger Stripe, the new one.
You know, man, that's got to be a real. Oh man, this is gonna. I don't know how to say this like nice, but it's like that's got to be a real sad, stressful way of existing. Is by trying to live, I guess, off of like scalping.
Oh
that's
yeah,
man, you got to be a real something to be doing that. You know what I mean? It's like it's one thing to like start your own toy store and do online sales and stuff like that, and you know you're going through legitimate retail. I love supporting small business, but that people like that, man, I'm like, you kind of, I don't know. Guess you're kind of getting what you put in on that one. Jay, what's some of your lucky finds, man? I know you're more of a domestic collector. Yeah, what have you found? Or
so like my biggest, like I haven't been collecting like nearly as long as you guys have. Like,
right.
So I got super lucky right when I was kind of out of the gate started. And it's actually what put me into overdrive with Transformers. I found the leader class Optimus Prime with trailer for Siege, the Siege release.
Yep.
And I got like Megatron, Starscream. There was like a handful of them. I found them all at Ross.
Ooh, those are that's a lucky find place.
Yeah, like all the leaders, most of the Voyagers, Soundwave. And I mean, I think the most I spent on an individual was like $15.
Man.
So, like, awesome. Yeah, but like that Optimus though, that Siege Optimus is my absolute favorite Optimus. So that getting him for like the trailer and everything for $15.
Yeah.
Like that was my absolute like lucky find.
Dude. Let me tell you, like, so I could probably do an entire episode on lucky like Ross finds when they would hit, man. I think there's like a couple that stick out in my mind, so I won't go into all of them, but there was when Hasbro had the, what was it called? The Marvel Universe line? Is that what they were called? Yeah, the 3 3/4 inch figures. And they had the SDCC Sentinel that came out, and it was big, and it was for the SDCC one, it was actually on a giant card. It was really, really cool. but then they re-released. So they released in the public this. It was the. Let me back up. The one in the big card was purple and pink, or magenta. The one that we know, that's our Sentinel. Well, the one that they released to the public that was easier to get was purple and silver. So people were like repainting it and stuff like that, and it was a giant Sentinel. It was a very nice one. Had electronics in it. It was very cool. Some of you guys might remember that. Well, I don't know where it happened along the line, but they put that same one, like from the SDCC, in a box. So it wasn't like it was the same deco. It came with a half bamfing Nightcrawler in it, so there was like kind of an exclusive figure there. It was really cool, and it had like the set. Well, people started finding those at Ross, and it's the fuchsia and purple one. It was nuts, and I think I found 4, and so I found them at Ross, and I put every single one in my cart. I was like, one's for me. I can't remember who else. Somebody else wanted one. Oh man, I had his name, and then it went. And then I want to say somebody else wanted one, and then I kept one to use in not a raffle, but kind of a raffle. It was a raffle for, we were doing this trip to Nepal to bring like medicines and stuff like that and into the mountains. And it was through my work, but I was like, well, we're trying to raise money for it. So I put one of those up as a, hey, if you put in money for this, you have a chance to win it. But also all of like 100% of this is going to, this cause to send us there. And I'll be damned if Craig Warwick didn't win it. Craig Warwick won it. And I was like, great. He lives in Scotland. And it just so happened that he was going to be visiting his husband's parents in the States within like the next week or so. And so I was able to ship it out to him. He got it there. And I guess he had to strap it and flew it back like a baby whenever him and Matt went back. But that was like probably one of the coolest finds, luckiest finds. And not only that, when you find them at Ross, like you said, they're not retail. They're so far under retail. Yeah. So I want to say they were like $50 maybe. And at the time they were going for, they're probably 100. I think they might have been $100. I'd have to go back and check on it, but I know they were hella cheap, and people were very happy to pay. They were paying for the price for shipping, and it was still under retail, which you would have bought if you would have found it like in the store. Mm-hmm. So that was super cool. Anyway, that was one of my favorite finds ever. That was just super cool. And it's really cool whenever you get to find all that stuff. You get to help people out. I was just like, oh man, this is just the best. Johnny, what are your? I saw you would put some pictures up. What is some of your lucky finds?
So back when Toy Biz was the guys with the Marvel license, they did a Fantastic Four wave, and it was pretty hard to find in general, but specifically the Super Skrull. I lived next to a Meyer, and I was able to pick up maybe 4 of them from that place. That guy right there.
He still looks good too. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's aged well.
Look at that. Look at those. I love the flaming rock attachable arms. Yeah, dude. Johnny, that's funny because as long as we've been collecting that one, that's one of those figures that like stick out. That line, like I want to say, was Dragon Man in that line or was it a different?
He was.
So yeah, those scrolls started going for a lot. Not only then when they first came out, they weren't that, they were affordable too.
$8 a pop.
Yeah, $8.
So I grabbed one for me, and I grabbed a few more to trade off for things to, fill in spots in my collection.
Yeah, that is nuts, dude. That is so cool. Were those re-released by Hasbro?
Yeah, I think they did it in a 2-pack, and the arms for the rocks were gray and all that.
Yep. I remember that, man. That was that was a hot one. That was dude. So yeah, I've heard about Myers. Is that a northern only thing? Because I know I've never seen them in Texas.
Well, I know we got them in Ohio, but where else they are, I don't know.
I've heard
they're like a super Walmart or a Target with a grocery section, but like a bigger one, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard
it's mostly grocery store.
Yeah, I've heard of like really good finds at Myers for some reason. You know, another speaking of like grocery stores and finds and stuff like that, I found some really they were at the time they were hard to find stuff at HEB, like here in Texas or whatever. There was like I found like there was a comic Whiplash that came out that was 3 3/4. I remember I found him for my buddy Ryan at an HEB, and there was just like that was just impossible to find. It was a weird time for toys, like at that moment where the 3 3/4 inch was the Marvel stuff we're getting. It was like, I guess this is what we collect, and we can collect a lot of them because they're so tiny, you know. So, but yeah. So what was your? So I saw you posted something else. Was that a lucky or an unlucky find, Johnny?
Unlucky, unfortunately.
I know what it is.
I had this state-of-the-art toys Sagat figure for years, and it was like my favorite figure.
It's good.
And I was reading one day, somebody said, "Man, yeah, it's a great figure, but the QC on it was terrible. Like mine broke at the hip." And I thought, well, you know what? I'm stupid. Let's try to turn the hip and see what happens. Pop right off.
Oh, that's a dark day.
Yeah, I should have known my limits. Shouldn't have done it, but I did. Had to find out.
So it kind of this is kind of crappy, but it kind of leads into a lucky find for me. When I was in Dallas, living in Dallas, and this was like 16, 17 years ago, I found 3 or 4 of these at a store called Puzzle Zoo, and it was in the North Park Mall, and they were $7 each. And I was like, cool. I was just getting into customizing, and so I was like, oh, cool. They had those. They had this store was awesome, man. I got all my Mezco film Hellboy stuff. Like they had everything there, but they had all these soda figures for nothing. Like they had that whole Raimi line was there with Raimi or whatever, but they had 4 of those freaking things. I think it was 3 or 4 of those things. Whatever it was, I bought all of those up for $7, and I'm pretty sure like I customized some of them, and I just I don't have any of them anymore.
In relation to that,
Crazy.
I bought that 2-pack to get the new Sagat because it was cheaper to do it that way. And the figure was just never as special again.
That sucks, man. I hate that you were like, I've done that before too. Like you hear that, you're like, yeah, mine's not gonna break. Mine's probably good.
Yeah. Hasn't broken yet.
Yeah. It couldn't be me. I'm better than everyone else.
Yeah. Oops. Oh man, I'm not, am I?
I'm not special at all.
I'm not special at all. Dang it.
You don't want to say anything with the Mezco thing.
Go ahead. I feel like you need to get it out.
I was talking about how Ori broke his Mezco thing.
Oh, the Mezco thing. I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about your issue right now. I was like, yeah, go ahead, Az.
Yeah, both are awful.
Ori posted that photo of the thing and just said not one word.
Well, because someone was like, someone in another server was like, oh, that they were talking crap about that thing figure, basically just being like, they were like, yeah, you know, it's like that figure's overpriced, blah blah blah. Like it's not like what, and I was like, look, the Fantastic Four are my favorite Marvel team, and like when I think of the thing, like this is like this sculpt, this is what it looks like. I was defending this thing to the death, and I was like, and then it breaks on me. And then I posted, I was like, not one word. Like I was just like, you guys still killed it here. I don't understand what the problem is. And then it snaps. I was like,
I saw that happen, and I had literally just gone on Dave's stream, and I was like, you know, obviously not everybody's gonna watch everything. It's just impossible. But I was like, dang it, Ori. I was like, I just went on there and went through like the most slow, detailed process of this thing, and it was crazy that yours broke like that too. Because I was like, well, so it's not an isolated incident.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was like, oh, and I remember Tony's face. I was just like, let me see, how's this thing work? And I was like, hey, I'll fix it if it breaks or whatever. And Tony was like, just like scared.
Yeah,
so funny.
You can see the fear in his face.
Yeah, but you fixed yours, Ori, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you go. So that's awesome. But then it's pretty stupid. I mean, you're like, dang it! It is a cool figure, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great figure.
It was just poorly constructed.
It looks very nice.
Very over engineered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sucks. X, man. I hate that. I hate that for you. Just you're sitting there like,
Yeah, I was like, God damn it!
why did I defend this thing? My thing, bro.
To the death.
Yeah, I had a whole deal that night. I was like, don't break your thing.
Yeah.
It was like, we
It was
set out
crazy
a card.
because like an hour before that, I had broken the Marvel Legends Walgreens thing.
Oh my god.
And somebody like after that, like I posted that break, and they were like, they're like in before he breaks the Mezco thing, and then like an hour later, I knew it.
Yeah, somebody was like, this is gold.
Yeah,
Made
Oh,
somebody's day.
I was like, keep all your things away from me.
So funny.
I didn't want to touch any of them. Yeah,
Not even a man thing. Keep it out of it.
Yeah.
they're all staying behind glass. I'm not touching anything.
It's funny you bring up Walgreens, man. I feel like anytime you were able to find like an exclusive that you wanted, that was a lucky find. Like,
I never had issues finding the Walgreens stuff.
really?
Really?
Man, I think it was Silver Surfer that was just like the first one, right? Didn't they do what was the first Silver Surfer that they did? He was pretty good, and then the second one he came with like the dark.
Yeah, the
It's
darker.
darker.
The second.
Yeah.
The fallen version or whatever.
Yeah. I never saw the Thing in stores. My buddy Anthony found it for me, and then I found one Human Torch once, and that was because it was crazy because it was on. Me and our friends were going to vacation in Colorado, and we stopped at a random Walgreens, and I found the Human Torch there. I was like, wow. So I don't know. Always felt lucky. Bob says, worse is you find that great figure and you're like, yes, take it home, open it, and it breaks right out of the package.
Yep.
Man,
Splinter.
man, that was my Splinter. Everybody, oh yeah, your best action Shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was so hyped for Christmas. I'm like, ooh, I'm about to close them up. Took them out the package. Movie's like slightly snaps off. I'm like,
man, I watched Dave do that live. He's like, oh, his leg just broke off. I'm like,
yeah. Yep.
Just like a clean snap too. I didn't even put that much force. I literally just went like this. It snaps off. I'm like, oh my god.
best action, y'all.
So I'm like, all right, well, Bill, I can send this to you and fix it.
I'll take care of that for you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Best Action, for your tries.
Yes.
It's good. It's good to try. I think.
Because this is a cool figure too. Because I was gonna get that, and then the Shredder from Hell version. And I was contemplating on which one to get. My brother's like, "Well, just get this one. And I'll get you this one, and just open it and see how you like it." I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, literally the same day my brother broke it. He's like, "How?" I sent him the photo. He's like, "You fucking dumbass." I'm like, I barely
How did you
touched
break
it.
this?
Like, he's literally like, "I just got it for you." I'm like.
That's literally sounds like Ori, man, with the thing. It's like, oh, I can't believe this broke. This is a great figure.
Yeah, but it is what
No!
it's a cool figure. I'm like, all right, I just get it fixed.
That is the worst, man. I talked up so much that dang Van Helsing Shredder or Splinter. I was like, this is gonna be the funnest one in the group. I know it. Just wait. The god and just like paint's coming off. A piece broke off on me. I'm like.
I was in chat with you as it happened, so I just got to see your reaction in real time.
The disappointment. I'm just like looking down, and I was like, man. And then it's something, man. When something keeps, you talk about unlucky. Have you ever had a figure that just keeps on with you, and it's like, oh my god, it keeps getting worse. Like this broke, and then this something went wrong. Oh, what is that?
Mayfix Cyborg.
Oh no!
Oh,
what happened?
Yeah. Arm popped off, and then like the kneecap came off out of the box. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's cool. That's cool. It's not broken. It's just the arm doesn't stick back on. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're just gonna be like this, bud, and just be laying down right there.
That's kind of a common issue with Mofex figures. Well, not just Mofex, but like the figures with those round, the ball socket joints and whatnot. A lot of times there's some kind of anomaly inside. It's generally inside the socket, and it might just need to be dremelled just a little bit.
Yeah.
You can pop
You
it back.
barely even see that. Look at that.
Or is it warped? Oh,
No.
that is messed up.
Oh,
That is that's it. That's it. That's all it is. So that's like I don't know if it's how it's made. That's why it doesn't want to pop back on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like you literally hold it like that, and then like a couple seconds later, if I barely slightly move it, the on falls off.
yeah. So something's like it's there's one of two things going on there. Either like the peg is somehow warped and too short, or the bicep needs to be like heated up and pressed down, or maybe the arm. You know, I don't know. That's what happened a lot with the Mafex Hush Superman. You'll see that a lot. That peg, a lot of it. I was doing crazy repairs to that thing, and then I found out one day I was like, if you just heat up everything right here, you can just pop it back in because it's that one has like a plastic housing inside of the rubber, softer plastic, shoulder, and then there's a hard plastic joint in the elbow, and those click in. Like that's it. That's all it has to do. So if you heat it up, and they will stay in once they're in. Those
I
things
think I just found my problem.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
What do you
I
got?
see that there's like residue and stuff inside it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Fun.
Yeah, that's great.
well, the good news is at least it's not a canon toy anymore. You know.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Not unless he shows up in season 2 of Peacemaker.
Well,
Well,
apparently
they said
went in a whole new
Peacemaker is-
direction there.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's for the better. I think
As
it's
long
I
as
think
they
he
have
lose
Blue
that
Beetle
really
back.
nice Batman rant he did though.
well, yeah. I mean, you get Blue
Yeah.
Beetle, and that's
I want Blue
good.
Beetle back.
Yeah.
They need to make a figure of him besides the McFarlane, because McFarlane was fucking gross. Like no one wants that.
There's the
It
people out
looks
there that
weird. Like the proportions of his body's all super long and his legs are long. I'm like, dude.
you want to talk about unlucky, man. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you keep buying, from the same line, and you're like,
Mhm.
I should just. I don't know. This is kind of on me at this point, you know. Like I remember, like I mean, man, I'm not gonna bash any toy companies, right? There's just a few every now and then. There's a
Don't get me
few that
wrong,
come in where I'm like,
He has some good figures. I'm just saying. It's just that he could work on some. And
yeah. I'm trying to
work
think.
on-
Like, I can't really think of a toy line that made only bad figures.
No.
I can
Think of early Jazzwares. You'll find a couple.
Even, oh man,
I mean, look at their World War Z figures.
oh yeah, those are.
Well, but currently they're not making. bad
Yeah, not all.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's what
They
Billy
still can't do likenesses very well, but they are much better.
You're getting better.
has only made bad figures.
Yeah, only.
Hmm.
Could you imagine? You want to talk about unlucky?
I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, but there's something like I hate this company.
I'm not saying anything, but it's not Sapar 7.
All right, yeah. But
Yeah, it's so
I
bad.
dude.
Just
I
like
want to like them.
my
Yeah.
unlucky find.
yeah, tell me about that.
Actually Transformers again. I had Siege Sunstreaker in my hand at Target.
Okay.
I just happened to see something else. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get that instead. Because I thought the other, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was like, ooh, that's probably gonna be harder to get.
Oh, yeah.
Sunstreaker, I never saw it again.
That's the one that you've been after, right? Like that you missed.
No. I always skip
Run
them.
amok. Oh, Run Amok.
Yeah, Run Amok. The black.
Did you ever get the Sunstreaker though? Did you get him?
No. Nope.
Yeah, so you still don't have him.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna pay $80-$100 for it.
Oh, of course not.
No.
No, that's ridiculous.
And then, but I do have to say for Hasbro's, like they just put that was it the 4-pack? Sunstreaker, Trailbreaker.
Oh, I love that.
Who else? I can't remember, but it was a 4 or 5-pack. They just put it out for $100, and Sunstreaker and a like cartoon version of Sunstreaker was in it. But again, I already had everything else that was in that pack, so I didn't want to pay $100 to get it. Because
Yep.
I say I'm going to sell stuff, and then I mean I've got a shelf for Transformers sitting there waiting to be sold for the past year and a half.
Yeah, I know how that goes though. It's like it's you want to do it. It's just finding the time and whatnot. It's like
Right.
there's other things that I'd rather do.
No, it's not even finding the time. It's just like
That's my issue.
I go to do it. It's just it's too much.
try to pull off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I tend to leave that Band-Aid on.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to.
A lot of us do that.
Yeah.
A lot of us do that.
I don't know. It just it's probably really not that much work, but it seems like work that I just don't know that I want to do.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I will go into this right now. Something that I would consider it. I would definitely consider this a miss, even though I obtained it. Was the Robin Hood figure from Super 7? Was
Yep.
first off, shame on you, Super 7. Like that one, that hurt. I was like this Prince John figure, or whatever. I was like, oh, this is a cool figure. I like this one. Maybe this is gonna be. They put some love into this Disney stuff or whatever, and then I got that. Man, what?
You should have known better.
I should have. I mean, but I already had it. It was already paid for too.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it, and it's like you pre-ordered it, and they waited a long time before they came out. And it was just like they got if you pre-order directly from Super 7, the money's out and then.
Mm-hmm.
BBTS is that saving grace where they're like, we'll just be stuck with it.
Yeah, but even if you try to get a refund, don't they ding you on the refund?
I've never tried.
Oh.
I don't buy that much from them.
I don't know.
For reasons.
Mm-hmm.
What reasons?
Robin Hood.
Yes.
That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Although
So you
I
just decided to roll the dice on that.
I did just buy something from them. I just spent a lot of money through them.
All right.
Actually.
Well,
Yeah, they put out the Beastie Boys sabotage figures.
I saw it, and I was like, you know what?
Yep.
I'm like, you know what?
couldn't resist.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
I did it.
I'm not.
I'm not, man. I can't stand it. I know they planned it. You know what I mean? Like I had to set it straight. So anyway,
I thought they were gonna
They
do
just
like
showed a
Run the
second
Jewels
Cliff
when they got
Burton
the Run the
figure, too.
Jewels.
they keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. It just they.
It's the musician figures I think that are really like that kind of like that feels like a sweet spot for them. That seems like where they should focus on.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to hold their instruments correctly, though. If they can get that going, that'd be great.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm just
They've got too many lines that I am very desperate for.
Mm-hmm.
But I hold my line of I don't see the value in them.
Mm-hmm.
Just $50 is way too much for what you're getting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Speaking of like my man Max is in here, dude. This is the guy I was telling you about that worked back in the day in the distribution and whatnot. He said I've seen lots of just bad figures back in the day. Back in those early 90s. I bet Max could tell us like a company's like, this company made no good figures ever. Like ever. And then they just like got crushed. Oh man. I can't. I think sometimes I see a lot of those old figures too. Like, I don't know. I used to go to there's a store called Dallas Vintage Toys, and when they were smaller, oh man, the finds you could find there and the stuff that I'd seen, and that was crazy. And they were just selling things for what they were worth or less than. They're just like, hey, this is a place to find great deals. And man, some of the stuff I saw like blew me away that they were actually like made. Just golly, man. I can't believe how many figures McFarlane made. Like on the Spawn name alone. Like if it was loosely connected to Spawn. It's like, this is bananas.
Or you could put the word Spawn after whatever.
There you go. Yeah. I was like, man, I'm going to talk about unlucky. That's the first figure that ever broke out of the package for me was a McFarlane figure. It was the dang, I think we talked about this before, but it was the Dracula from it was almost like 3 3/4 or 4 inch tall. And they had these like sets too. They were really cool. There was like a werewolf. There was like Frankenstein, I think. And then they had a Dracula, and I got the Dracula, bought it with my own money that I earned. And I got home and opened it up, and it's like he had like I think he had a little cape, a little fabric cape on, and it was just like arm was hanging, just above from the shoulder. And I was just like,
man.
I was like, yeah. So I took it back and I got the werewolf. So, but anyways, yeah, I was like, this. I was the first time I think I've ever had my parents take something back to the store, which was nuts. They're like, this broke right out of the package, and I don't care.
Right.
Here, yeah, whatever. I was just like, man, McFarlane hit me early. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
the lucky find, dude. We found this awesome. I wish I had that nearby. We found this awesome. Oh, I do. Like, I forget what the name of this was, but we found this figure, dude. This guy. It was like a comic looking dude, and he almost kind of looks like this NECA dude here, kind of, but without the patch. But he came with like this awesome helicopter backpack and this guy that said he's a manservant.
Like a robot butler.
Yeah, his little robot butler. Look, he's even got like little
cufflinks and stuff.
Yeah. And I found him and he was super cheap. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to grab that. And Bob was with me and he goes, dang, that is really cool. And I was like, I could kind of tell like Bob wanted one too, but I was like, yeah, that sucks, man. I found him. I was like, I really want that robot. And Bob was like, oh man. Bob ended up finding him as well at another store. It was freaking awesome. Just as cheap. And both of us ended up getting them. I was like, this is awesome. I forget what the heck the name of the guy was, but it says manservant on the robot, and I'm like, I was like, this is so funny, man. He looked like some old school figure. You dude, yeah. I was like, it's so funny, man. His manservant. And yeah, this dude's got like this sweet backpack on, and it's got a helicopter. It's like the most impractical, dangerous thing you've ever seen in your life. I was like, yeah. I was like, I want that thing. The figure's like whatever. He looks like those old like 40s and 50s comics characters, like Slam Bradley or something, or like the first Superman where he's like, can you tell if he's fat or fit? He's got like the big chest, small weight. Yeah, I was like, all right, this is super cool. It was an awesome find. I love those finds. I love those random finds. Like you find like, I don't know, like old Danger Girl figures or something like that. That used to be like the big deal for us whenever it's like we're trying to make customs, you know. Tom Strong.
There we go. Tom Strong.
My man. Thank you, Thomas Rubello. My man. Yeah, I'm gonna see. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can find. You guys gotta see a picture of this guy. This was so freaking crazy when we found it. Yeah, even the packaging's slick. Hang on, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me share the screen here. This is so good. Here we go. Tom Strong. Bop.
So, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's DC Direct, isn't it?
That's nice.
Could be. Yeah, he's got goggles, pistol and knife. Yeah.
Nice.
Rolling action Newman. On the back, it's got to say that on the back, right? Did we just call him that? I thought we're like, yeah, his manservant. Yeah, shoot. Maybe it didn't say it on there. Sorry, I take it back. It didn't say that on there. I think maybe it was just me and Bob being like, look at this man.
Just being dumb.
He's got like a manservant in here. It's a robot. But yeah, look at that backpack. That is so impractical.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like Inspector Gadget vibes.
Yeah, man. Look at this dude's chest and shoulders.
Hell yeah.
But it was the robot. It was the robot that looked really clean, man. I'm like, oh man. His name's Newman. I think his name's Newman. Is that right? I can't remember where was it at. Oh, it's the front. Yeah. Rolling action Newman. He's got rolling action. So
good. He's not
there you
stationary.
go. This is a freaking awesome find, man.
Yeah.
There you go. You can butler on the go.
Yeah, rolling action. He's got a little tread. Yeah, dude, the robot sold it because I think it was like it had to be like maybe maximum $7 for that whole set. And I was like, there's some cool accessories in here. I think those, for me, those was some of the most fun, man. There was just a wonderful toy store that closed down, unfortunately, but it was the Lost Toys, and it was my favorite favorite toy store ever. The guys that ran it, Matt Partain and Brian, these guys are amazing. And the stuff that I would find there is just crazy. I once found a bag of Simpsons props. From the Simpsons, just the props.
Oh,
the
wow,
whole
okay.
bag.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, yeah, it was a gallon size like bag, and it was just stuffed full. I was like, yeah. And my friend Clayton saw it first, and he put it down, and I was like, oh.
Yoink.
that was a lucky find for me and a very unlucky miss. And as soon as I picked it up, he's like, "Oh, are you gonna get that?" So yeah, he's like, "Oh, I was thinking about getting that." I was like, "I know you were thinking about it.
Yeah. Should have put it down.
You should have put it down. Now that's the rules are rules, man."
Yeah.
Like, dude, a bag of accessories is probably the coolest find. Like,
yeah,
especially when you can't even tell. You see 4 things in there out of what 50. And you're like, yeah, those 4 things are worth the price I'm going to pay for this. And it wasn't even that much. They just basically gave it to me. And I was just like, this is going to be wonderful. I was like, so good. And then it turns out those figures are expensive. Some of them, like those, it's like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not going through all that. Like you said, I'm not going to overpay for something crazy, like a bunch of props or whatever. But that used to be stuff that you could find on eBay a long time ago. Like you'd find accessory lots, and I don't know if you find them as much anymore on eBay. Like
you pay an arm and a leg for them anymore.
Yeah, used to you could just find a whole lot of that stuff, and you're like, oh man, this is a really good deal.
Yeah,
eBay. Talk about eBay finds, man. There's been some really nice like grabs on there that I've got Sentinel Mega Man figures. I ended up getting them after the fact when I kind of like hit 3/4 of the way through, and they skyrocketed like quickly, and the figures were awesome. And somebody had put up I was looking for Mara and Aquaman, and the dude put it up like Mara Man instead of Mega Man. And I don't know if that hurt the search, probably, but I found it, and it was the the Mega Man Legends of like Volnut. So the one without the helmet and it's very stylized. And it was I think it was starting bid 30, and I got the starting bid.
Right.
Which was stupid because the figure is already worth more than 30. He was going for a lot of money. I was just like, hey, that guy was probably just waiting. I can't believe he didn't put those phantom bids in to try to run that thing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
You could just tell when it happens too.
Yeah. Especially when I came with the Mexico Leatherface, because it's gonna get in for 75. Last 30 seconds, $20 more. I'm like, bro, fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I found it. There it is. Yeah,
like,
I know what's going on here.
It was literally, I was the only person that bid, and then the last 30 minutes, I was like, $1 more, $1.50, $5. I'm like, all right, I'm not paying more than $80 for this.
Yep, it's gonna keep rising.
They keep literally till the last 30 seconds. I'm like, you know what? $78.50. I'm like, oh my god, dude! Literally the last second, and I was like, you lost a bid. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Cap had. He said he got a McFarlane King Kong brand new in the box, retailed for $20 back in the day. Got mine for $40. I bet it's worth way more than that now. This right here is a good question from Cap, or it's not a question, but I have a question about it. It's like, consider throwing old Legends, DCUC, etc. on eBay and lots, but don't know if it's even worth it. I'm kind of right there with him, man. Like I got rid of most of my DCUC, but there's still some in there, and they're honestly, a lot of them are still really good. Like I have almost all the lanterns. Like Kilowog was so nice, and Stell is a cool figure, and Metallo, and all those figures. I'm like, man, a lot of these things, some of these figures still hold up really well.
They do lot sales, and that'll probably get you a good bid.
Facebook Marketplace.
Visuals.
Yeah, yeah. I
on
sell
the topic of Stell. When you get a second, go ahead and finish your thought.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
Well, okay. About the time that Build-A-Figure or CNC came out, DC Direct was doing a figure of him too, and it blows my mind how much better the Mattel one was compared to the DCD. Yeah, that's it. Nothing too interesting.
No, it is interesting because a lot of those. Oh wow, this is funny. I think somebody. Oh, dude. I think this is DC Direct Stell and Man and Bad. Sorry, I was looking through. I was kind of going through. It's like the Collected Connect is pretty freaking huge, and then that other one is just like, oh, this is him. Hang on, check this out. I found a pretty good shot of them side by side. This is nuts, man. It's so fun to go back a lot of times and like look at those old figures like that. So there's your
Jesus.
DC Collect and Connect on the left, and this is the DC Direct on the right. It's just like, man. I mean, and this figure's got articulation and less likely to break than the DC Direct, because everybody knows DC Direct. They sure do look pretty. That's actually kind of funny too. The thing I think about there, one of the lucky finds I had was a DC Direct Hush Catwoman. It's awesome. Like the figures, accessories, and head were amazing. Like the goggles actually could slide up on. Like you could take them off. They were transparent right here. She had a really cool little backpack that fit. And all you had to do was this happened a lot with a lot of figures. You could take the DC Direct head or accessories off and you could put them on the DC UC figures. And it was like, oh man, this thing just went up. Just like putting a painted head nowadays on, which is exactly what we're doing.
Yep.
Putting a painted head now on these new figures now. But back then, it's like we didn't have, 3D printing wasn't around yet.
Right.
You had the hope that you had that's when customizers were thriving, I would think, because it was like, oh man, there's only way to get them is either go find an expensive DC Direct figure, which blew up because people are just cannibalizing the parts and then tossing everything else. But I found a broken DC Direct Catwoman at some store, one of the toy stores, and I was like, well, this thing's like leg and arm are broken, and this store was, I don't know, is not a great store. Bob's got a real bad. Bob has a real bad story about him too. But yeah, they were just like, oh, I guess I don't know, $5 since it's all broken. I was like, yeah, because the guy was like, I don't think those can be fixed like that.
It's beyond help.
You're right, sir. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think that's where I found the DCUC Lobo as well. That's something that I think I overpaid for. Like, because it was way after that thing had been out. It didn't have anything, like no accessories. But I want to say they wanted like $90 for it or something like that, and it was just hard to swallow that one because there was no Lobo figures that were accessible at the time either. And that one was really cool. The SDCC one was awesome, but it was like missing all that stuff. And Bob had to go to tell them they had these awesome figures, man, and they were like in a 9x9, like, or the 3x3, like those cubbies or whatever, and they're just like thrown in like a child's toy box, just figures on figures. You can see like it looked like a child's toy box, like whenever it's got like those paint scrapes on it.
Yeah.
Things are thrown in. It looked like that in the boxes, and you're like, oh my god. And Bob's like, Bob, he had enough already. He's like, look, man. He's like, you can't be saying that these are like you selling things at premium prices when you're not treating them like premium figures. He goes, they're all thrown over there like a kid's toy box, and you're trying to say like you want to. No, it's ridiculous. And next time he said he came in, they were all like stood up and nice in there and whatnot. They tried to sell me an SDCC Starro box set. It's really cool. It's got these 3 3/4 inch figures in it. And man, you could see through the box. I've got it up there now. My wife actually got me one on card, but you could see it in there. All the it's a plastic box, and Starro and all the figures are just shaking around in the box. And he's like 150, and the guy next to him was like, "It's an SDCC exclusive, too." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's exclusive." He's like, "Might have to do 170," and I was like, "You might have to get effed." I was like, "I'm gonna take it back." I was like, "God, you're crazy." All I wanted was like the Aquaman too. This is a little 3 3/4 inch Aquaman. I was like, "Oh, that'd be fun." No. So that was kind of I got excited because I saw it and I was like, "There's no way they can charge a lot of money for this, right?"
Yeah.
Lucky find.
Nope.
Denied.
That's a SDCC exclusive. He's like, like, this guy can go do another job. I hated that, man. That's the worst, dude. There's nothing worse than that, man. Watching somebody try to pull one over on you, man. I was like, no.
better.
Mm-mm. No, man. I could only imagine like that's how grandmas get had or whatever whenever they like would go into GameStop.
Right there.
Yeah. Ooh, this is the one you wanted, right? No, I didn't want Metal Man. I wanted Iron Man. Oh, well, the salesman said this is the one. Like, this sucks. This is not what this is not what I wanted at all. Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. Oh man, and like the story that one that I've had, and this is whenever I had met. He goes by MC T Dog. Man, he's a really cool guy, local collector, really cool guy, and he had recognized me. It was weird. It's the only time this has ever happened, but I got recognized from my Toycanic ventures outside of the internet, like in the real world. He goes, are you the toy repair guy? And this was like during COVID. I had the mask on. It was the hair. And he was like, oh man, yeah, well, I watched your stuff or I've seen your posts. I was like, that's really cool, man. And I looked down. I was like, yo, are you getting that? It's the Rogue. I think it was the retro carded Rogue. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Gambit and Rogue and whatnot. And I was like, he goes, if you ask that lady over there, she'll get them for you. And I was like, oh, cool, because they're street dated, and we've all dealt with the street date, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I was like, I asked her, which I never do. I was like, I don't want to bother them usually, and I'm like, most of the time it's a waste of time. But anyway, she got it for me, and I went to the front and went to try to self checkout, and it didn't work. And this lady, man, this employee of the month, man, she ran over there and she was like, street dated. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, all right, whatever. And so I told him that, and he's like, oh, yeah, go to this lady right here. She just rang it up. It came through and she just rang it up. So I went back. I knew, like, at this point, I was like, you should just leave. Like, what are you doing? Like you're done at this point. I went back there and asked her again. She went back and got him again. Bless her. She was awesome. And then as I'm like checking out, I'm like, this is like, I know I'm doing something stupid. I like grabbed some gum too. That's great. Just getting the figure and some gum. And I put it down on the deal, and the lady's about to check it out. And I see that lady over there in the back. She's like, I'm like, no. I was like, two of them are like, boo, like they pop up like Secret Service, man. And they're like, where's this at? And I was like, it's in the back. And they're like, who gave it to you? I was like, some employee back there. Like, what'd they look like? I was like, they were wearing red.
Yeah.
And they're like, these are street
ratting on
dated.
nobody.
Yeah, there's a street dated. And I was like, oh man, I just thought that was messing up. And that girl was like, just looking at me like, and the lady was like, do you still want the gum? I was like, yes.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I took the gum. I got the gum.
Should
I
have got.
walked out. The T-Dog's like, yep. He's got his bag over there just waiting in the front. I was like, you need to get out of here. They're going to take that from you. We're going to take that from you. Get out of here. He was like, damn. He's like, oh, man, that sucks. I was like, yeah. Yeah. Felt pretty stupid. I was like, I will never do that again. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm done with I don't even like going into the stores anymore at this point, unless it's with my friends to like kind of do a hunt. I was like, I'm not doing that. I felt like an idiot. We're talking about feeling stupid. I was like, that shot when you make eye contact with the people like that, and this one's like, especially with the mask, I'm just like,
you're like, I need another mask for my eyes.
Yeah, I was like, just walking with sunglasses, hood over. I'm just really afraid of getting sick. I just want to put a little extra stuff on me, man. Yeah, no, that's not good, man. That's a bad time. No. Yeah. Have you guys ever had to deal with something like that? Like something like just an unlucky, like a situation like that where either something snagged from underneath you or something like that? Because that sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
TMNT set.
Oh.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
I was so for it and canceled.
If anybody out there has a good lead on the Mezco TMNT set, please message Esteban.
Yeah,
please.
Good deal.
You can hit him on Instagram at Nacho.
Yeah. Nacho the Blunts.
Please. That sucks, dude.
It did suck.
Yeah,
they're gonna reissue them though. You know they will.
Man, I don't know because I wanted those versions. Like if they have the black and white versions, it might be cool. Or like,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
Still, yeah. What's up, Quinn Comics? Thanks for showing up. Greetings from the comic shop. That's freaking awesome, man.
So do you think that that'll get a knockoff?
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
since they've done a new one. As far as knockoffs go for them.
Yeah.
That's a
Like-
good question. Like,
I mean,
when is what's the last like Mezco KO that came out?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
it's
it
been a
was
minute.
that one Joker, the one with the striped pants and like
Clown
no coat.
Prince of Crime or Clown Prince of Crime? Is that right?
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
try to say it, but yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, oh man, yeah,
Any-
I get it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like a safe bet almost, but there's a lot going on in that figure. But I mean, if they can knock out these clothes and whatnot these days, like, you know, there's not even that much that goes with them. Maybe, especially since gosh, I don't know how many KOs they did of the NECA Mirage figures.
Well,
You know,
so they're still doing knockoffs. I've got a set right there that I made
yeah,
like 2 years.
yeah, that's right. I remember because yours had a different green color too. It has almost like a
Yeah, it's a
little
little
bit of teal blue
Mhm.
kind of in it, which was interesting. I remember I have a set of the KOs. That you want to talk about a lucky find, man. My wife. Talk about a lucky find. She I remember that's when we were in the comic store, and it's obviously way back whenever these things were new, and it was the single packed Mirage NECA Turtles. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna grab this Donatello real quick. And she's like, wait, aren't there 4? I was like, yeah. She's like, well, why would you not grab all 4 of them? And I was like, well, you know, it's like I don't have a lot. She's like, I think you're gonna regret it if you don't get all 4 of those.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, well, cool, I'll grab them. Never saw them anywhere else again. And she's the one that picked up the 4-pack of the black and white ones for me at Hastings. So, oh, there you what's up, man? What's up, Mario? That's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. That was really lucky. I think sometimes you don't even realize how lucky you are. That's crazy, man, because it's like that's when I was first getting into like collecting
Yeah.
as an adult. I was like, ooh, those are cool. Yeah, they certainly are. Here we are, like what, almost 20 years later.
And they're
Still-
still making them.
Yeah, I think we're this
Doing something
close
right.
to like NECA doing them though, you know, because
Yeah.
I'm sure people have seen that the Mirage. What is it? The Foot Soldiers coming out.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's
And those
the-
are
you and me
cool.
were just talking about that.
They're
Like,
nice.
So normally I don't want everything in the release, but like that Mirage, like I want everything in that Mirage release.
Yeah. There's some good stuff in those Mirage things, man. It's like I hate it whenever it was like calling like a lucky find, like it was just more like a frantic rat race. Whenever it was like freaking exclusives, man, in-store exclusives to be exact. And I was like, I remember like when Ori found like what was it? Was it Firefly?
Yeah.
Just found just a
Wall
ton
to
of
wall.
Fireflies, and it was when the height of like
Yep.
you better, I don't know, it's like those people that wait in the parking lot,
Cobra Island.
dude. Yeah, Cobra Island, man.
Mhm.
So that I usually So I don't know. I tend so I use Hasbro Pulse. So if I know something's a store exclusive,
Mhm.
I know that they are going to have a small amount up on Pulse.
Yeah.
Period. Except for, well, GI Joe they do. They don't necessarily do it. They don't do it for Star Wars. They don't. I think I'm not sure about Legends. I'm not positive, but I know they do for GI Joe.
That's awesome.
But once I realized that,
Mhm.
I haven't missed any.
Well, that's the beauty, man. It's like I know there's the thrill of the hunt can be very fun, obviously stressful and stuff
You're
like that.
finding them, yeah.
But
Yeah.
But for me, I like
It's
I don't
not
know.
thrilling anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The only time I'd like hunting, like I said, is with a group, and it's like I'm not really. There might be like there's always that one thing, and it's generally like Ori and I would probably be looking for the same thing. We're probably like, oh yeah, we want that figure, like because we collect a lot of the same stuff. It's like, oh, that'd be cool. And if it's a turtle or something, it's like chances are Ori has already found it. Like it's rare. It's man, it's rare, dude. Yeah, I think it's like I don't know. The NECA stuff is really fun to find, and I feel like it's been a little bit easier little
Mhm.
more accessible and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Because I don't know, I still see some people, struggling to find that stuff. But it's like, man, I guess it's one of those things. If you want it bad enough, if you can make it, you're on it. You're gonna go find it. You're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Found the Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack at Walmart along with G1 Devastator re-release. One of both, and layaway had started. Put 45 on 2 separate layaways, dude. So it's funny you say that. I found that Colossus Juggernaut on clearance once. I got him I had already had one, but I found one. I found it for like $20 for a friend. I got him for Ryan. Ryan was like, "Oh, I really want that set," because that was a great set. What a phenomenal 2-pack. And sure enough, there it is. Oh, there you go. See, that turned into lucky. Yeah. Sorry, Johnny. I think I backed you out. Go ahead.
No,
Hands
no,
off. No.
you're not getting a third strike. It's all you.
He said he went back 2 weeks later to pay off the 2-pack, and it's on clearance. They give me $15. Yeah, there you go. So yeah. That's so freaking cool, man. There's nothing better than when people are finding stuff on clearance too, and then you get to go find them as well. But the worst is when people are finding clearance in their state, and it's not on clearance in your state
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
your target. I'm like, oh my god.
That-
And then people
that's
use it against
irritating.
you. Yeah, it's like, well, that's actually going for that figure's going for like $10.
Yeah.
Delaware.
And I get,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
get 15 of them at my target, and they're all still,
Yeah,
come on. And
right.
the minute they go on clearance here, they're gonna gone.
Yeah. And that dude, you are it's throwing chum in the water if you post something about that on Instagram. Because you're gonna be the shark circle a lot on that one, man. People come out of nowhere being like, hey man, if you find any of those, and I'm guilty, man. I hit up Flashpoint Customs whenever he found a bunch of, I think it was Outbacks on clearance. I was like, hey, if you find one of those, and I was trying to get one for Christmas, which I ended up getting one from Anthony, so that was really cool. But I felt like an ass, like asking, hey, if you got any more of them, y'all got any more of them clearance Joes? I felt
we got
crappy.
here. There's a pretty healthy group that kind of, they're very supportive, but they throw it out and when it gets thrown out, if you're not within striking distance, you're not going to get it.
Right. That's my my method. If I was to find anything that's like rare or something like that, I send the find to my guys first. And if nobody wants it, then I might post about it. But actually, generally, I don't even do that. Like a lot of times, I'm like, I ask my guys, I'm like, hey, you guys want this? Because like that happens, man. You push it out there, and then it's like, I don't know, you can call it selfish if you want, but the way I see it is like, if that opens up that line for scalpers or other people to come in there and take it from you, you just lost this awesome line that you could have had for you and your buddies in the future. It's just kind of look out for the crew.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate anybody out there that's because we got a lot of people, and we all do this. We help each other out, and we help others out that we don't even know, so I do appreciate that. Like in our, we have our Discords are awesome. We got a great group of people in there, and we like helping people out. And the people that are in there, usually you'll see the ones that won't last too long, or they hung around and they don't make many sales, or these guys that are like, the price is like, and luckily most of the people in our groups like don't do like the laughing emoji at the price, but every now and then somebody's like, come on, man, just come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about lucky? I guess you're lucky if you like put one of those prices in and it sells.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then you're not, man. I don't know, man. I couldn't sleep with knowing that. I would definitely. I'm like, I'm not. I don't sell everything at retail, but it's like I'm not gonna gouge. But if it's one of those things where it's like, hey, this thing's been missing for 10 years and you can't get it anymore, obviously inflation takes over at that point. But it's not gonna be something stupid. It's not gonna be crazy. But it's like,
unless it is stupid.
Unless it is stupid, yeah. Yeah, unless it is stupid, because man, the people that throw
stuff away, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the laughing emoji is so passive aggressive.
Yeah,
I think whenever you see me selling something, the higher the price is, it's the more that product aggravates
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got to pass on the suffering to somebody else.
You're right. Yeah.
That's how I work.
Is that how you get rid of the suffering? Is you pass it on like
Yes.
a curse?
Absolutely.
This guy.
So the more expensive it is, the more I hate it.
Oh,
If I'm selling it for under retail, it's just because I don't got space for it.
Yeah, I'd say, man, it's at some point it gets to that where I'm like, so the way I am, I'm such an impulse seller. Like, if I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah, I got to sell some stuff. That probably means it's not going to happen soon. Or if it does, it's going to be like, hey, all of this is for sale. Tomorrow I'm going to a toy store and I'm turning everything in that doesn't sell. Like, and I do it. That's how I sell. That's how I sell like all the time. Unless I'm lucky and on a weekend I'm able to like, get a bunch of stuff taken photos of, and because I like to make sure as well, if I got accessories for something, that I'd like to put those with it. If I'm planning on getting like, not only like maximum, I guess, return for it, but it's also for like people that are, wanting to collect it. You probably want
they want to complete it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like one of those things, but it's usually like a fast one. They're like, oh, can you keep this till Tuesday? I'm like, yeah, I will. I will actually keep this for you till Tuesday, but I was really planning on turning this in.
I'm going to the toy shop and it's all going away.
It'll all go away. So if you want to go get it, you can go. Oh man, I want to say it was like I bought something like that, and Bob was like, "Oh, you should have told me you wanted that. I turned that in." And I was like, "Well, I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it.
Right.
I didn't know you had it." And then he'll be like, "How much you paid for it?" I was like, "I don't want to tell you that. I won't tell you that. I probably would have paid you more. I thought I was getting a good deal." He's like, "Man, I think they gave me 30 for that." I was like, "What's going on? Look at this guy."
That's what I always end up doing. I think about, I got to sell this stuff. I got to sell this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I should do this, and then I end up going to the toy shop and
so
just one
easy.
more.
how much store credit will you give me?
Yeah, it's just so much easier. Sometimes it's not, obviously it's nice to get paid, but
Yeah, easier, and then I get to immediately turn around and get more stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of like turning in a bunch of stuff and getting like less things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because I'm like,
that's GameStop model.
like
almost.
For me, like I turn it in, and like last time I did this, I turned it in, and everything that I got ended up. It was all for fodder. It was all for custom. Like, I mean,
that is classic.
The Laura Croft. It was. Yeah. That's one of the ones I picked up. So that's how long ago it was since I've.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to sell.
That's like classic toy store modeling for me too. I'm like, I'm here to buy a bunch of stuff that I probably normally wouldn't, or I might get lucky. And when I was talking about when I turn in a bunch of stuff and I get less, I mean like I turn in like 20 figures or whatever, and I walked away with odd NECA quarter scale Donatello.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was like, that was a win. Like, that's really cool. That's something cool for my collection. And then I got rid of a bunch of, it's almost always Marvel Legends and McFarlane, the currency at this point.
Yeah. For me, all of that is, I've absolutely whittled all that down. It's, pretty much that's some.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, because it's space, dude.
Well, like we were talking, I'm not a fan of having two of the same character. Like it just, I don't know. Like I only need one, and since I've updated like Ironhide, Ratchet, some others, the Siege version,
Ratchets.
Yeah,
you need more Ratchets though.
But he's looking. Hit me up. They're gonna be gone soon.
Yeah, they're going to the toy store tomorrow. Like, I'm out of here. Bye. That's the end. That's the end of that story, man. Yeah, that's cool. We do have a pretty good one, man. We go to Retro Madness normally. Ori and I and a couple of our friends will go up there, and they not only do they have usually have pretty cool stuff. Like they've got a pretty good collection. There's always something shifting and changing around, and it's just an eclectic deal. That's where I literally found that quarter scale Donatello there. But they also have 3 locations, and so if you've got credit one place, you can
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can use it in the other 3, and they're, I guess, fairly close to each other as well, but that's pretty cool. And they also do There's some really cool toy shows that happen and stuff like that. I don't, but either way, that's always really fun. Toy shows, I think, are some of the most fun places. I remember, I think it was the last one I went to was the one I went with Ori, and we went up there and found this place was. This guys were awesome. They were selling Mezco figures for pretty good price. I want to say that's where Ori got his Harley, like a classic Harley, and then I got the really cool look tank girl looking Harley, and they were, if not retail, they were under.
Yeah,
I think they were under, man, because it was like 70 or 60. I can't remember. It was good.
Something like that. Something crazy. We got
It
it
was
from
awesome.
Cincy Nerd.
Haggle.
Oh, Cincy Nerd. There you go.
Okay.
Did
I know that name.
that price, or were they just at that price?
They had it. That was it. It was already there. I was like, there was a haggling would have been a crime for them. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was the price. I was like, well, I do love guys that will do that though. That'll cut you a deal if you're like, can I get these two for this much? And they're like, yeah, okay.
So like we have toy shows around here regularly, and I just don't go because like I don't know. I don't know a lot of people outside of like in the community here. I just don't. You know, I know of a few, but I just I don't know.
Yeah.
So like going to them, I end up going by myself, and it's not fun to go. You get in.
Yeah.
Take a quick lap and just be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gone. I'm done.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm a good haggler either. So yeah, I just don't.
Well,
I'd like to do toy shows more. I just don't like.
I think you
need a group to go with. So you guys need to. Oh! This. I'm sorry. So this is complete side. I was gonna make a joke about you guys coming out to go some toy shows with me.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been wanting to tell you guys. So they're building a Mattel theme park right down the road from my house.
A Mattel theme park.
Yeah. Yeah. Hot Wheels, Masters of the Universe.
Really?
Yeah, just like
it's a theme park
and shit going up, and like 10 minutes from my house, if that.
Dude, we have like
you guys have to come out. Like
that'd actually be. Oh man, Clayton would lose it. There's like a Ori. Is that? Do we still have that Mattel like small warehouse thing that's like in Fort Worth? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been there? Dude, there used to be a Mattel store. And you could go in, and it was super weird. Like, they just had just a bunch of duplicates of random Mattel figures there. I wonder if they're still around, man. They were awesome. The price were good. Yeah, it was like they had what was it? DCUC had these old. It was like the blue Kyle Rayner and a yellow Hal Jordan 2-pack. It was kind of hard to find at the time, and then those popped up. And then there was like this fat. He looked like a fat dragon, honestly, like a pot-belly dragon. From Motu. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jay?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's red. He's got a little purple helmet, doesn't he? Like a little...
Granomir?
Yeah, they did a red one and a green one.
Yeah, Granomir.
Got his little yeah, dude. And they had him for like $20 there. And he's a big boy, man. And there was just like...
How many of them?
Him and this big... I don't know if he was like a stone guy or like... He looked like a kind of He-Man with... I swear he had longer hair and a beard. There's a big, he's big, and he was like $20 and stuff. I was like, I don't know what to do with those things, but
how many of those did you buy?
I didn't buy any of them. I was just like, oh, that's a thing. I don't collect Motu. Really.
Okay, talk about Big Miss.
Great,
multiple, like, yeah, dude, price that Granomir out sometime.
No, I don't want to do that. Well, I didn't, but I didn't want him, so I was like, but now that I think about it, I'm like. It'd been kind of cool to have a fat dragon.
Yeah,
that's after that D&D movie,
dude. If they made a, that's a lab I need is the fat dragon from the D&D movie. I'd be first to be like, I want.
Oh yeah, I need him.
You need like a feature.
Yeah, he needs like or like a rolling.
Yeah,
just like
that's my favorite part of that movie.
There's a remote control chunky boy, man. That was awesome. Well, dude, thank you guys for sharing some of your lucky finds and unlucky finds today. If anybody out there got a lead, and one more real quick. Ori once helped trying to find turtles in disguise for me. That's it.
I did.
It was a Christmas. McFarlane turned into salt.
Or spice.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you. But yeah, guys, thank you again, once again, and all of these guys. Like you can see the respected names here underneath. You can find Nacho right here on his. Johnny, you can't find him here, but he is the pork vendor. Oreo Mega is Oreo Mega, and Creeper 13 Creations. My man Jay, love your shirt.
Thanks, man.
So, yep, absolutely. Love it.
Now, Bill, before we jump off, I do want to apologize for not being there last weekend. I got a message from Chris, and I guess everyone else got it, saying the podcast was canceled for the day.
Yeah, Chris said that.
So
thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Chris. And this is what he has to say, currency-wise. It doesn't even make sense, Chris. I know you're talking about McFarlane. I know you're talking about McFarlane.
To defend himself.
He jumps in. Well, here we go. We're at there.
See, there he goes. Yep.
Yep.
We just bully him online.
Mm-hmm. You know, he's got that little, I guarantee that little fart sound just played somewhere. That too. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you everybody in the chat for showing up and sharing your stories as well. Hope you had a good time today, and just remember that the impossible takes just a little longer. We'll see y'all later.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye.
CREWMARU.